Alrighty guys, welcome back. Andrew Gamer UK Ray with another Phasmophobia episode. Now, of course, I was going to play Phasmophobia again. I wasn't going to just bypass and actually avoid playing Phasmophobia again. Obviously, I love this game. I wouldn't be doing so many episodes of it if I didn't love this game. And the problem is I'm just a wuss at it, and I'm really scared to play it because, well, it's a very scary-ass game, especially when you're still new to it. This is like episode 10 now, I believe. So, yeah. Uh, Also, apologize for my cussing. Pardon my French. Anyway, um, I know I keep saying this, but today I'm going to stop being a wuss. I'm going to stop being a chicken shit, and I'm actually going to go in here and do some investigations. Now, to be honest with you guys, my favorite map is Tanglewood, but I keep going there. It's like the most common map, but I go here for practice because it's the best map for newer players to understand and the basics of the game. So it's literally the tutorial map. So I'm gonna go there at least once or twice just to get my just to get a few warm up investigations in before I start really going in. So, reports of violence. That's not a good sign, dude. That is not a good sign at all. Why am I getting demon vibes from this? I have no idea. So, another mistake that I was making a lot in my last episodes is the fact that newer Phasmophobia, the thermometer really isn't reliable anymore to find the ghost room, as the old thermometer used to instantly show updates to find out what the ghost room was. But now it's a process to where it takes a minute, a very hot minute, to find the ghost room. So instead, what I should have been doing is using either the video camera, the video camera, or the dots projector. These two items can really help you save you a lot of trouble in finding the ghost room because the video camera is for orbs, for any orbs ghost, and the dots projector can be for any dots ghost. So it can really help you and save you a lot of trouble. And they don't need instant updates or immediate updates like the thermometer does. So they take like less time, and it's a much more reliable way to actually find the ghost room, as you will only find dots most of the time in the ghost room as well as ghost orbs. So these two items are absolutely must better. They are absolutely better in every shape, way, and form from the thermometer. The thermometer can be a good tool to use as well, but it's just not as good as it used to be because, well, it takes a long time for it to update. So that's the reason why, in my opinion, the video camera and the dots projector are much easier and are much more better to find the ghost room. So, okay, this is when I need to stop being a little wuss and stop little crybaby, alright? Because as you all know, this game gets really tense, especially after that timer right there gets a 0. That's our setup timer, aka the timer that you cannot be hunted in any shape, way, or form. Only ghost events can occur, which is better in all ways and forms, but once that time runs out and if our sanity gets low enough, which right now it isn't, we can get into a load of trouble. So let's go ahead and start this. Do keep in mind that this is when the game gets really scary. Also, I think the name of the ghost was like Kim something. Let me check real quick before I go any further. Kim Lancaster. Responds to people who are alone. Well, I'm by myself, so that is perfect anyway. It immediately turned the breaker off. That's giving Hantu vibes, is it not? It can't hunt right now, so I'm not too scared. It's when that timer gets to 0 is when I get really scared. Is the breaker in the garage? Okay, no, it's in the basement. Okay, good. So it's not a djinn, because I don't think the djinn ever turns off the breaker. Or is it the huntin? No, it's not a djinn, because a djinn I don't think ever turns off the breaker. I think it's the huntin that turns off the breaker. Whoa. I just heard a footstep right here to my right in the living room. Let's turn the, any orbs? What about dots? Will you show me your ghost form in the dots projector, please? As I asked nicely. What about here? Something else that I need to get better at is not leaving the building constantly, especially for missing out an important evidence. Being in the dark is really not a good idea because my sanity is going to decrease faster, especially if it's a Yuri. God, guys. You see, every time we go into these rooms, we're running out of time, and that reset timer is going to get to 0, and it can hunt. By the way, you can crouch, and I think it's actually faster than walking, but I'm not sure. Oh, don't tell me it's in the basement, dude. I'm gonna be really upset. It did turn off the breaker, so maybe it is in the basement. Why am I in the dark? I have no idea. This is terrible, especially... It turned off the freaking breaker again, are you serious? Why does this ghost light turn the freaking breaker off so much? I'm scared to go outside to the truck. Okay. I'm getting very scared now, guys. Like, we still have yet to find the ghost room. It's probably in here. Is it in the kitchen? Is it a kitchen ghost? Wait, was that the Yuri tech? Hold on. Touches a door but never opens? Whoa, 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 whoa. So far, we've got nothing. Imagine it's just a phrasing temps ghost, and I have no idea. Like, dude. Is in the living room. I keep hearing footsteps over here. That leads me to believe that it's actually... No. No luck. We haven't been in this room yet. Is it in here? We have been in this room. I thought that was the candle. It's not. Is it hunting? No, it's not hunting. Oh, no. Door moved. Okay, yep, I'm leaving. Okay. So this ghost really likes to interact with doors. Now, I was in there for a long time, and this is the first time I'm actually officially leaving the truck, or leaving the building. 90% sanity, so we lost a total of 10% sanity, and we were in the dark a lot of that time. Gosh. There is a ghost that interacts with a lot of doors. I forgot which one it was, so this is going to be terrible. I think it's Yuri. It definitely closed this door. Why is it giving Yuri vibes? Lights just flickered right here. My setup time is definitely over. I think it's a Yuri. Because a Yuri does that tech with the door, but... I'm not stupid, guys. I do know a lot of ghost types and what they do. This is the newer ones that I'm having trouble with, like the yokai, the Hantu, the Goryo, the Myoling, the Onro, the Twins, the Raju, the Awbake, the Mimic, the Moru, the Diogen, and the Fae. Those are the newer ghost types that weren't in the game when the game first released. Now, if it is a freaking Yuri, it'll be ghost orb, freezing temps, and dots. Which is kind of ironic because I have video camera and dots in my hand, but I haven't been getting any evidence whatsoever. So that's kind of ironic. Like, when you think it's a freaking Yuri, but you don't get any evidence from the very tools that you're supposed to have evidence for this ghost, and you're not finding any evidence on it whatsoever. I went to every room, didn't I? Every room. Every room. And not a single activity or anything. I hate demons in Phasmophobia. I really, really do. I hate demons. I hate demons so bad because a demon is literally the most aggressive ghost in the game. It can literally hunt you at any given sanity at any given time, provided the set time is over. So if it is a demon, we are very likely dead. Because even with my sanity the way it is, it can still hunt. So it's not like I've not died before. I've died once so far. But because that's mainly because I'm too much of a freaking wuss and too much of a chicken to go in this building after that sale timer has expired, because it can literally hunt. Especially if it's a demon. It can literally hunt at any given time. So, man, I'm not looking forward to going in this building, but we need to stop being such a chicken shit. See, I didn't go in with an thermometer this time because, well, the video camera and the dodge projector, in my opinion, are much more reliable ways to actually find the ghost room. Although, I haven't been really getting that so far. Do keep in mind that if it is a Fae, it can hunt at 70% sanity. The thing is, I don't know where the ghost room is, so if it starts a hunt, and if I hide near its location, it could very well just end up finding me. So, that's not ideal. It is interacting with a lot of things. Something's leaning towards poltergeist for me for some odd reason. I do not know why. Like, it's just giving me that kind of vibe. I don't know. I heard a lot of objects being thrown. I don't know if it was just me, but with nothing to throw, poltergeists become powerless. It'll be spirit box, UV, and ghost writing, which none of which I have, by the way. I think a poltergeist's hunting threshold is 50% sanity. Maybe it is a poltergeist. I'm gonna bring in the book. I'm really scared to enter this building, guys. I'm really, really scared to enter this goddamn building. Was that... That sounded like a damn grasshopper. See, a poltergeist would not be freezing temps. It would be really hard to find the ghost room if that is the case. It closed the door to this room over here to my left, right next to the closet. So that might be the ghost room. I'm not too sure. If it is, if I go in there and if I get some ghost writing or even UV, which I don't even have the UV on me either, then that could be a lifesaver. But if I'm wrong, and if it's something else, like, I don't know, like a Fae, which we haven't been getting any ghost orbs or dots for, so it might not even be a Fae. And if it's a mimic, something you guys don't know about the mimic is the fact that it can hide evidence or show fake evidence. So the mimic can actually show fake ghost orbs as a fourth fake evidence. So if you see that ghost orb, and if it doesn't count as evidence, or if like it has like a different tinge of color to it, then you know you're dealing with a mimic. So it's like one of the easier ghost types to actually figure out. It's also the only ghost type in the game that can actually be any other ghost type, which is very, very strong. Very, very, very strong. The problem is we don't know which ghost type is mimicking right now. If it is a mimic. Guys, I'm so scared of this building right now. This is when it gets tense. Okay, like when that 5-minute timer is up, is when the shit gets really real because it can hunt. Lights just flickered in the living room, by the way. How nice. I think Kim wants me to just come in here and have a little tea party with her. That would be really nice, you know? Guys. See, it keeps interacting with the lights over here. I think it is that room over there. But if it is theoretically a poltergeist, and I don't have any evidence to support this theory at all, if it is a poltergeist, its hunting threshold is 50% sanity, like the other most ghost types. But I could be wrong entirely. I did go in that room, and I didn't see any ghost orbs. But they could be fake. They could be fake ghost orbs, but I'm not sure, and it could be a mimic, for all I know. I am not too sure, to be honest with you. Also, there is another bug that I want to talk about that I've been experiencing. And I think this is not just on PlayStation. It's on other platforms as well. To where... Let's just flicker in the living room again. To where... There's a bug to where you try to set your settings, right? You go to the menu, try to set your preferred settings, and you apply them, but they don't actually apply. So you set your settings, you apply them, but they don't apply. It just cut the breaker off again. See, it's not a gen. There's no way. Is it a haunt too? Anyway, as I was saying, I'm gonna go to the truck for a moment before I go back into this building. Before I probably go with my death. We're gonna have a nice little chat about a few of the mechanics that I'm trying to learn. Obviously, looping the ghost is possibly the hardest thing to learn in this game. It's similar to freaking Dead by Daylight, except you're looping an AI killer ghost instead of a player-controlled killer, to where you try to loop a certain area and you try to survive the hunt while it's hunting you and when it has a line of sight of you. There are certain areas, especially on this map, there's the kitchen table. There's also the dining room table, which is close to it. Those are good looping spots, but the real important and possibly the hardest thing to learn during a hunt is saving your sprint. You're going to need to sprint. You're going to need to crouch below certain objects to break line of sight, because most ghost types nowadays have a speeding up over time if they have line up sight of you. So, back in Phasmophobia's earlier days, excuse me, ghost types would not have this. The only ghost type back in the day that could actually outrun you and actually catch up with you was the Revenant, because the Revenant always had the very powerful ability to catch up with you like it does nowadays. But it's not the only ghost type now that can still catch you off guard. For example, similarly to the Revenant, a Djinn has a passive ability to where if the power breaker is on in the location, it kind of has the speed up ability similar to the Revenant, to where it speeds up, but only if it's within when it's not within 4 meters of the player. So when it gets 4 meters within the player, it slows down back to regular ghost speed. But this ability can easily be canceled out if the breaker is off. And that's how I know it's not a Djinn, because the Djinn never turns off the breaker. And I think the Huntu is similar to where it never turns on the breaker, because the Huntu gets more powerful when the breaker is off, because it benefits from colder temperatures, and it actually speeds up in colder temperatures, where it slows down in warmer temperatures. So it's really helpful to understand these things. And like I said, I know the basic knowledge of certain ghost types, and I literally just said a couple. But going in and trying to actually loop the ghost is the hardest thing in this game. Because no matter what difficulty you play on, ghost types and ghost speeds are always the same, and their abilities are always the same. So the thing is, the only thing that difficulty might influence is how often they use these abilities, but I'm not too sure. So, guys, I'm gonna need your tips in the comments below. Especially for the newer ghost types, like the yokai, the Hantu kind of. The Goryo too, like, the Goryo is kind of similar to those of a Shade, because they like to stay around their place of death, so I don't think they ever change ghost rooms. I think that's the passive, special, hidden ability of the Goryo, is the fact that they never change ghost rooms. Like, they can't really change ghost types because we're on immature difficulty, or they can't really change ghost rooms since we're on immature difficulty. Only higher difficulties can they actually change their ghost room, aka their favorite room. Guys, now I think a mare is similar to a Hantu. A mare will have an increased chance to attack in the dark. Yeah, blah blah blah. Yeah, but it'll be ghost orb. So it'll be ghost orbs though. But we didn't see any ghost orbs. And if that is the ghost room that I was in briefly, we would have definitely seen it. Do keep in mind, because the breaker is off, if it initiates a hunt, and if it is a Hantu, we're basically dead. Because the breaker is off, it's going to be really cold in there, and we're going to see that it's a Hantu. Another dead giveaway that a Hantu gives, only if the breaker is off, is the Hantu will be the only ghost type to show visible breath coming from its mouth. So no other ghost type does this, and that will instantly give away that you're going against a Hantu. And something else that I mentioned, and I think I explained it briefly in my last episode, was the Djinn. The Djinn is the only ghost type in the game that is locked for newer players, and will only unlock after you get to a certain level of prestige. There are prestige levels in this game, similar to Dead by Daylight, to where when you level up and get more experience, you will get prestige levels. And I believe the Djinn unlocks at prestige 1, level 30, or level 30, or level 1. If I can stop saying the same thing over and over again, that would be amazing. This is because the Djinn works very, very, very differently compared to other ghost types. It is the only ghost type in the entire game that constantly knows where you are. So if you even try to hide from the Djinn, it's pointless. It will find you and it will kill you, because it knows where you are at all times, even if you break line of sight. Because the weakness of the Djinn specifically states that looping is the only way to actually survive it, because the Djinn has a very slow hunting speed. So that's the reason why the Djinn is locked, because it has a very different stance than the other ghost types. Because all other ghost types follow the same basic rule, that if you try to hide from it, you could actually escape it. But the Djinn is very different indeed. Now, This is when the game gets tense. Again, your input and your tips will be much appreciated. All right. See, look at this. It's giving Hantu right now because the Hantu never turns on the breaker. And I think the Hantu is more prone to turning the breaker off. Let me actually check this right now. I'm curious. Maybe we can just rule out Hantu right now and just leave. That'd be fantastic. Hantu. Lower temperatures will allow the Hantu to move at faster speeds. Uh, Weakness. Hantus move slower in warmer areas. That's literally what I described, like, not even 4 minutes ago. Not even 2 minutes ago at this point. A Hantu is a rare ghost that thrives in coldest climates. The cold seems to make them more aggressive and empowered. So, and I do believe that the Hantu has a hunting threshold if the power is off in the building of, I believe, either 60% sanity or 80% sanity. If it is a Hantu, just because I am going off the breaker right here, if it is a Hantu, and if it initiates a hunt before I can get to the breaker, I'm just straight up dead. So, yeah. If this room over here is the ghost room, theoretically, if it starts a hunt, it will start from there most likely. So if it initiates a hunt when I'm in the basement, I will try to go to the kitchen and loop it. Again, I don't know a damn thing about looping the ghost, and it's one of the hardest things to learn in Phasmophobia. So if I die, then it's because of a skill issue. Okay, so don't make fun of me because I'm just too much of a freaking wuss to go in here and actually. See, I just heard footsteps, and it sounded like it came from the kitchen. Like 2 o'clock. It sounded like 2:30 over here to my right. Also, to keep in mind, if it does start a hunt, and if I'm completely wrong on the ghost room, it could just catch me off guard and it could just kill me. So, it doesn't say that Haunt 2 has the passability here to keep the breaker off, but just because I'm going on and based on what I'm seeing, it hasn't turned on the breaker ever since it turned it off. I really am starting to think this is a Haunt 2. It could be a mare, but the mare turns on the breaker every once in a while. So, if it turns on the breaker, then we can say it's a mare, because I think the mare also likes to turn the breaker off every once in a while and keep it off for a while, but then it turns it back on. The Haunt 2 never does this. So, see, if I go in here right now and check the temperature, you guys are going to notice that it's cold because the breaker's off. If it is theoretically a Haunt 2, it would be UV, Ghost Orb, and freezing temps. Now the problem with the Haunt 2 here is the fact that it wasn't giving me a single Ghost Orb. So, I could be wrong on all of these accounts. And I may just be completely wrong. Heck, it may even be just a demon. And I don't know, guys. Yeah, can I have my video camera back? Thank you. Imagine it's in the living room, we can just see the ghost door from here, just briefly. Wait. Did that say object thrown or ghost orb? I think it said object thrown. And I did not open that closet. Wait. Nope. Okay. That was not my footstep, by the way. That was Kim's, aka the ghost. Is that handprint over there? I can't see. And I'm scared to enter this building, guys. Like, trust me, I really am. Like, it could literally initiate a hunt. Object thrown. Okay, so now why is it giving poltergeist? What the heck? It's giving poltergeist now. Why is it throwing so many objects? Poltergeist will throw multiple objects at once with great force. Weakness with nothing to throw. Poltergeist become powerless. Why is it giving... See, poltergeist would not be a ghost orb, so that would make more sense, but why did it turn off the breaker? That's a little suspicious. See, it's throwing a lot of objects right now. That's really weird. Especially since I think it's a freaking hunter at the moment, and the poltergeist never constantly leaves the breaker off. So, what is this? Is it a mimic? It could be a mimic, and it could be mimicking a poltergeist right now, and it was mimicking a Hantu. It just threw another object. I just see that. See, look, we're unaware of what this ghost is capable of. Be careful. Yeah, you see, look. This is the fake ghost orb that I was talking about earlier with the mimic. That's his weakness. So, if you see a ghost orb and if it looks fake, which you will know because I think the fake ghost orb always just stays static, whereas normally ghost orbs would fall down slowly or float down. So that would be a ghost orb. Guys, I just want to either guess it's a Hantu or a poltergeist to just get out of here and save my life. Knowing that when I enter this building, I could very well die. Because keep in mind, when it does start a hunt, we cannot leave. This door does lock, and it shuts. It shuts and locks, and you cannot open it until the hunt is over. It also closes, but it doesn't lock during events. And that's another thing, too, that's hard to do, is differentiating between ghost events and ghost hunts. So a ghost event will usually happen when the 5-minute setup timer is still going. And it's a phase where the ghost can be visible and show its form, but it cannot kill you. And then a ghost hunt is completely different, where it starts chasing you and it can kill you. If it has a live side of you, provided that's not a Deogen, of course. Alright. This is when shit gets real, guys. Like I said, if I die here, you know why. It's a skill issue. Godspeed. Watch it just start a hunt, like, as soon as I enter the building, dude. Like, seriously. If I die, you know why. And that rhymes. Oh, no, you don't. Okay, if it turns off the breaker again, I'm just gonna say that it's a freaking. I'm just gonna say it's a Hantu at that point. See, I saw that breath. That means that the place was cold for a long time because of the breaker being off for a long time. So now that the breaker's back on, it will start warming up again. So that does not mean that it's a freezing Tim's ghost. One, because the breaker is off, and two, that's definitely not the ghost room because it's literally a corridor. That can't even be a ghost room. There's no way. If it turns off the breaker again, I'm literally just gonna guess that it's a freaking Hantu at this point. Let me check my sanity. %. We have a flat baseline of 0 activity at the moment. Okay, now why is it giving Oni vibes now all of a sudden? Hold on. Is that Shade or Oni? Shade and Onis are basically opposites. Let me see. Okay, Shade will stop all paranormal activity, whereas Oni gets more active with multiple people nearby. Okay, so again, Onis and Shades are opposites. See, that's not clicking off the breaker. But the thing now is the breaker is on, so if it is a Hantu and if it hunts, it'll be slow because the breaker is on, and because the place is warming back up again. If it starts a hunt, and if that's not the ghost stream, I'm just gonna hide myself in that room. Because if you guys did not know, if you find yourself getting hunted, and if you're close to a room or in a room, just stay in the room. And if you know that's not the ghost room, of course, just stay in that room. Shut the door, shut off your equipment, and just hide in a corner to where you can break line of sight if it does enter the room while hunting. Because then it probably will not see you, and you're most likely to survive. So it's really helpful to know these techs and understand these things because it can really help you survive in the long run. That being said, don't ever try this against a video gym because it always knows where you are. It always has a constant line of sight of you. That's the reason why it unlocks later, and it's not unlocked at first for newer players. Such as myself. So again, any tips of yours would be very valuable for me to play this game, especially because I love this game. Another reason why I understand that's on PS5 now is the fact that the PS5 can actually handle ray tracing really well. The PS4 could not. Like, ray tracing... Let me explain what ray tracing is. It basically shows off real reflections off of nearby objects. Like, hold on, let me see. You see on the video camera, it shows the sanity meter and the reflection off the camera. PS4 can never do that because PS4 would struggle on that. That's the reason why PS4 would never be able to handle Phasmophobia. So I understand why they wanted to release it on newer hardware and next-gen consoles only. Speaking of next-gen consoles only, Kinetic Games actually recently made a statement where they're finally releasing it on Nintendo Switch. I wonder how that's going to be. Of course, that's not happening until next year, so that's obviously going to get much. That's also going to get a bunch more of an audience to play the game, which I'm really excited for. Getting recognition on Phasmophobia is really important because it is one of the greatest horror games out there, aside from Outlast. What's the other? There's a few others. Outlast being one of them. There's also... There's a few decent great horror games out there. Phasmophobia and Outlast, just to name a couple. There are a bunch of scarier games out there. Phasmophobia is definitely on that list, though. Like, I would say Phasmophobia is, if not top 5, definitely top 10, especially for newer players that don't know the game very well, myself included. Uh, so, yeah, and Outlast is just a completely different story. It is terrifying. But Dead by Daylight, not so much. Dead by Daylight is probably the furthest game from scary. I'm getting stocked up. My nose is getting stuffed up, guys. I think I'm getting a cold. It is cold outside, so that's why. Okay, so now it's not turning off the breaker at all. I turned the breaker on. Let me check my sanity again. I think I'm just getting stuffed up. Look at this. 0 activity across the board. What is this? Okay, now it's giving Oni vibes all of a sudden. Why is it being so inactive? Look at that. Baseline of 0 activity. Like, is it baiting me? Like, is it trying to get me into the building so it can initiate a hunt? Like, what is going on here? Like, I think it's literally trying to bait me inside the building to actually hunt me. What is going on? Like, why is it being so inactive? Why is it giving Oni vibes all of a sudden? I'm like, what the heck? This ghost is so weird. Why? Why are you being so inactive? It also turned off the light to the bedroom over here. Now, imagine we could just get freaking fingerprints through the window. That would actually be great. I don't think that would be considered cheating, though, wouldn't it? See, another thing too is the fact that my controller is suffering a lot of stick drift right now, especially from the left stick. This is not Kinetic Games' fault at all. It's Sony's fault, more so. But to where my left stick is completely shot. Like, whenever I try to push left or go right, it just goes left automatically. And I explained this a lot in my last video. Again, why is it being so inactive? Is it trying to bait me into this damn building I know? Like, seriously, yo, why are you being so inactive? Like, there's a baseline of 0 activity. What's going on? Did the ghost just go to sleep? I mean, what is going on here? Oh, finally you're giving a bit of activity off. Did it turn off the breaker? Yes, it did. Great guess. Great guess. Okay, it didn't turn off the breaker, but it turned off the light here in the corridor. Because the light in the little foyer over here is still on, so it didn't turn off the breaker, it just turned off the light. Wait, UV? I have to go all the way in there to test it, though. Wait. UV! I see it. It's on the dim closet door. Wait, does it have 5 prints? Does it have 5? I can't tell. I think it's just 4. So, there's at least one evidence. We know for a sure fact. It's ringing a damn, I did see my breath, but just to see if it is freezing temps, that could be a Hantu. But that's also giving demon. Which I am not very thrilled about. Because if it is a demon, I'm going to literally lose my mind. Because you guys know this, the demon literally can hunt you the moment you walk in the door. It literally ignores your sanity. It can literally hunt you the moment you walk in the door. So, yeah, that's the reason why I don't like demons. Demons are just, Demons are the most scary game are the most scary ghost in this game. I no joke, no joke at all. Like they are literally the most scary ghost in this game. I think close following is the Fae because it can hunt at 70% sanity, and because it is faster at the beginning of the game. Because the Fae works on the age system to where when you first start the investigation, if it's a Fae, it's very weak and it's very slow, or it's very fast and it's very strong. But as it ages, as the investigation goes on, it progressively gets weaker and it progressively gets slower. So, yeah. And the Fae is the only other ghost type. I'm pretty sure that can initiate a hunt earlier than most other ghost types, being the exception of Mare, of course. I think a Mare can hunt at 60% sanity if the lights are off, and 40% sanity if the lights are on. So, yeah, but the demon can literally just hunt you at any time, and the Banshee is the only ghost type in the game that completely ignores average sanity. It only targets individual sanity because it targets only one person at a time. It's always worked that way, even from the earlier days. So, if the target's sanity gets below 50%, then it will target them. But if any other member, as long as the target's sanity is below 50% sanity, or above 50% sanity, and if someone else's sanity that's not the target gets below 50%, it could still hunt, but it'll go after the target anyway. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. Yeah, you can see the handprint off the locker closet now is completely gone now. So I couldn't see if it had 5 fingers. If it had 5 fingers, that would have 100% been an Obake, because the Obake has this secret ability to have 5 prints on the hand or 5 toes on the footprint. But it also has the ability to hide those fingerprints 50% faster at 20 seconds to where other ghost types hide them at 40 seconds. So it's literally one of those things to where you just have to keep a knowledge on. Yes, I am being a pussy because I'm standing right here at the front door, not wanting to go inside because it can obviously hunt. If it is freezing temps, hold on, let me see. It could literally be any of the ghost types that I thought it was. It could also still be a gem if it is freezing temps. Okay, it just turned the breaker off. Are you serious, dude? It's still giving Hantu vibes too, and for it to be a Hantu, what will we need for a Hantu? But the only reason why the building was freezing earlier is because the breaker was off. And now it's going to freeze again because the breaker is off again. I'm not liking this at all. I have goosebumps. If it is a demon, I'm literally going to scream. I'm just saying that right now, like, because if I enter this building and if it hunts right now, then it's 100% guaranteed to be a demon because look at my sanity. I think all other ghost types on this little list, see, it can still be an Obake. But okay, so if it's not freezing temps, that would rule out demon. See, here's my dilemma. If it's not freezing temps, if it hunts, and if it's very quiet. See, here's the thing about looping the ghost that's really helpful is during a ghost hunt, is when it's hunting, it will blink, obviously. It's called blinking, to where they kind of fade in and out of existence. Every 2 seconds or so, they're following you. And different ghost types have different blinking. So, for example, the Phantom will blink less often, so they're harder to see during a hunt. So you're going to get caught off guard because you're going to have to pay extremely close attention to where they are during the blinking, because they can become invisible for like 2, 3, 4, even like 4.5 seconds. I think 4 seconds is the max for a phantom. So when it's not in existence, it can literally be right behind you. It just pops up and it catches you, and boom, you're dead. And normal ghost types, all other normal ghost types, from the exception of uh, Onis, Diogens, and Obakes, uh, will have a 2 second blink duration. Onis will blink more often. I think at 1.5 seconds, 1.5 seconds every time, and I think Diogens are even faster at 1 second. So, yeah. And what's cool about the Obake is the fact that the Obake is the only ghost that has a shapeshifting ability. So, if you know what the ghost model looks like, and if it changes ghost models during a hunt, then it's 100% Obake, because no other ghost type has the ability to shapeshift, which is pretty cool. I love that cool, unique ability for the Obake, because it's really unique. It gives unique vibes, you know. But I couldn't tell if it was an Obake because I couldn't tell the fingerprint on the closet there. It looked like 5 to me. It looked like 5, but I could have just completely missed it. I should have just went in real quickly and came back out just to roll it out, you know. But because if it isn't freezing temps, and if I had went to the locker or the closet and seen that it was 5 fingers, then I would have 100% seen that it was an Obake. You hate to see it, man. You hate to see it. Capture 2 unique paranormal sounds with a sound recorder. I don't have a sound recorder. Capture a photo of the ghost. I don't have a photo camera. Get an average sanity below 25%. That's not gonna happen, yo. Especially if it's a demon, and if I come here and just go with my... If I go to my ultimate death with a freaking demon. If it's a demon, again, I'm just gonna cry. For it to be a demon, it would be ghost writing and freezing temps. Now the thing is, if I go to the ghost room, provided I don't get hunted, if I put the journal down, and if it so happens to write, then I know for a fact it's probably a demon, especially if we get freezing temps after that. We would have to go back to the truck and get the thermometer to go in to find the ghost room. If it is freezing temps, then it's a demon. But it can literally hunt before I come in here, so... Like, it can literally hunt the moment I enter this building right now. And if it does, then we know for a fact it's a demon. Guys, wish me luck. See, it's so scary when the lights off. Like, it looks like you're just going into a big abyss or something. Like, what is this? Like, this game is just so scary, man. Watching Queso play this with Jinxie and Sketch was really funny as well. Dude, Queso moment was fantastic. Without any light, without your flashlight on, looking through this corridor is just so scary. Like, look how dark that is. Imagine I'm just wrong on all accounts. Watch it be a poltergeist. Like, that would be ghostwriting, UV, and spirit box. But I did see my breath. That was just because the breaker was off. So I don't think it's... See, if it's spirit box, I would have to go in, obviously. I don't even know where the ghost room is, though. That's the thing. I don't even know 100% guaranteed where the ghost room is. That's another thing about this. Like, if I go in, try to find the ghost room, and get hunted, I don't know where it is, so it most likely hunts from its ghost room, by the way, so if I go into the ghost room not knowing it, I get caught off guard, and I get killed, so... Oh, I'm going to literally, I'm going to get mad if it is freezing temps, and if I go in here, and if I get hunted, and if it's a demon, I'm going to be pissed. I hate demons in this game so bad, especially knowing that they're the only ghost type in this game that can literally hunt at 100% sanity. I'm going to get pissed off if it is a demon. Like, I literally am going to get mad. Now, the thing is, did it cut off the breaker, or did it shut off the light over here? That's the thing. I don't know. See, the thing is about it, though, the good thing is, if it is a demon, if it hunts, if we survive the hunt, then we know for a fact it's a demon. Because the demon is the only ghost type that can actually hunt us right now, if it is a demon, since the demon completely ignores your sanity. So, if it's a myling, another thing too that's really cool is if you're hiding from the ghost type, and if you pay attention to the footsteps, you have to be quiet and listen to them. You can easily distinguish what ghost type it is there. Like if it's a myling, its footsteps are going to be quieter. So, the thing too is, since if the breaker's off, if it starts a hunt, I'll have no clue besides the heartbeat. So I'll have to go into this room over here, because I know for a fact it's not this room over here. Gosh, that picture scared me. I thought it was closer. I was going to scream. If it starts to hunt, I'll go into this room. Like, imagine I go into the freaking house and it closes the door right behind me. Dude, that is scary as shit. Dude, just going into the house, if the door closes behind me, that's the scariest kind of shit you'll ever find in a fucking game. I'm sorry, like... Dude, if it starts a hunt, I'm going into this room. Godspeed. Alright. Okay, well, that just rolled out Hantu. Thank you for being so generous. That's really, really nice, because I was really struggling there. Thank you for making possibilities less extreme. I really appreciate that, dog. Thank you. Alright. Imagine it's just Jin this entire time. Dude. You see, I'm just gonna guess it's Poltergeist. I don't want to go in here. Like, I really, really don't. That would be Spirit Box. And I believe Ghost Writing for Poltergeist. Okay. If it is the Poltergeist, I'm gonna be really, really happy. I am just way too scared to go in this building, because I'm just judging that it's a poltergeist purely based on the amount of objects it found. Let's see if I'm right on that. I hardly doubt it, but it would be fantastic if it is. It was a myling. Ugh. See, but the thing is the fact that I was able to rule out that it was a Hantu because it turned the breaker back on. The Hantu never turns the breaker back on. And the Jinn never turns it off. So, that's the thing. Like, using that basic knowledge, I was able to rule out Hantu. So, that's great. At least I know basic knowledge, but Jesus Christ. See, going in and getting hunted, I would be able to figure out that I was a myling because it would have been silent. Oh, man, that sucks, though. It was a good try. It was a good guess. I was just too scared to enter. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys in the next one. Peace.